On that topic, does the State Department disagree with the counts of international bodies and aid groups that hundreds of Palestinians have been killed, have been shot trying to receive the aid? And if not, what is the State Department assessment, or what is Israel saying about how many, if any, Palestinians have been killed?
Well, we know Israel has some investigations ongoing regarding what has transpired in a war zone they did not want, a war zone they did not expect, a war zone created exclusively by Hamas, which now is thinking about a ceasefire and looking at it, which is nice. But this could end in a moment, as we all know, by releasing all of the hostages and by putting down their arms. They've chosen not to do that. In the meantime, in a war zone, and this is what the drama has been and why humanitarian aid has been so difficult, it's dangerous. It's a dangerous thing. People have weapons. Terrorists have weapons. They shoot people. They're holding hostages. They're maniacs. And we have endeavored to push through that, to get aid to the people of Gaza without it being stolen by Hamas, which has used it, which has weaponized it, essentially, to enrich it themselves, to purchase more weapons, to build more weapons, and to terrorize local residents. They're not stealing it because they care about the lifestyle or the quality of life of the people in Gaza. If they did that, they wouldn't be a terrorist group, and they wouldn't have attacked and murdered 1,200 Israelis on October 7th. So it's about getting the aid where it belongs to the people who need it without putting it into the coffers effectively of the terrorist group causing all this death and destruction. Yes, Tom.
On the future of Gaza, I mean, we know you've been very clear, says the President and the Secretary, that Hamas can't be a part of that.
Correct.
So what is the administration's vision for the future governance of Gaza?
Well, the President has made clear, Secretary has discussed as well, the fact that Hamas cannot be a part of Gaza, of any power framework. It cannot exist, is the word that the Secretary used. This, however, as the President has also stated, the future of Gaza, it should be in the hands of the Gazan people and in that region. So this is not just our vision or a dictation of what will happen. This is about the countries, our partners in the region, who have been actively working to implement the new ideas that the President has asked for. So I won't speculate on what that will look like, but if this moves as we hope it would, which is always quickly under President Trump's direction, is that we'll see that sooner than later. And one thing I can tell you is that it will not involve Hamas.
But just to follow up on that, I mean, that suggests that the US doesn't have a sort of clear vision for what the best future governance is.
Well, no, it suggests that there's some things that I won't exactly tell you today.
But so there is a vision, but you're not setting out what it is?
Well, clearly we have multiple nations dealing with an issue that has gone on for generations, where people have said that they want it to end, they want it to be solved. The results have been not good, ending up in Hamas in this kind of dystopian dynamic. And then President Trump comes back and says, I want new ideas. This can't continue. Working with all those nations in the region, hand in hand, to come up with a new idea. What that new idea will be, I can't describe, but they're not playing tiddlywinks. They're actually making, having a vision for the future of how this constructively could work.
But just to clarify, does that include the possible, as the administration terms it, relocation of Palestinians from Gaza?
I won't discuss the details.
Because when the President was asked about this in the White House last night, his first reaction was to defer to the Israeli Prime Minister about that very question. I mean, he didn't answer it.
Yeah, I think that when I refer people to other agencies or to other people, it's either because it's more appropriate or because it's something that is not correct for me to speak about, or I don't have the details. When speaking about another nation's approach with something, it's appropriate to refer to that friend who's sitting there with you. President Trump has not just the desire to ask for new ideas. He asks for them because he gets them. He knows new ideas are possible. His life is a new idea. The nature of what he's accomplished politically is a new idea. He knows that if you put your mind to it and you need to accomplish something very specifically, you must determine what that will be, as opposed to being carried along by a system or a machine or the wind. So when he lives his life that way and he knows that it works, it's not always easy, but that sometimes it's the only way, if not most of the time, if you want real success and real progress, is to have the new ideas. And that's what we're waiting for, and it will not look like what's happened before.